Balaji has this like now concept of digital death, like we discussed it before, like with this Bitcoin signal, going vertical. And let's say Silicon Valley Bank stock price going also vertical, but in the opposite direction, like from 1 to 0. It's like from it's like a 99% almost, like just the value lost, like it lost like 99% of value. So and but there is a counter argument, or like the opposite kind of view, where it's like there is a great deal of ruin in the nations, as said Adam Smith, the economist. So it can take decades, it's like Argentina, you can go sideways, or even it can take decades before the country gets like some meaningfully poorer or weaker. It's like can take like another 100 years. That's the counter argument. And counter argument to that, or just like, okay, it's like either it's like the counter argument is like, okay, this time it's different because it's like we are all like digital now. You have like this digitally native form of money, like Bitcoin or crypto in general. People are like very online. They can get scared. They can, banks, the internet banking is like much faster now. Internet is faster. People can also move. Mobile make us more mobile. You have many friends online, on social networks, so you can move to, let's say, to a small town, or you can move to countryside, and like you don't lose connections with your friends because many of them are online. If you spend a lot of time online, and so so like all these, like this technological defense, as Balaji would say, like buy Bitcoin, take it off exchanges, and like then move to crypto friendly jurisdiction, which is more like the social defense.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Mtambo's podcast. My name is Duke Mtambo, and today I'm joined by Jakub Simek, a co-founder of Se2 DAO and an author of Wisdom Enterprising. In this episode, I'll be talking with Jakub Simek about his article, America is the New Argentina, under the daily Biologism series. Jakub, it's great to have you on the show.
Hi, Joe. Good to see you, and I'm happy that we are doing this second series together.
Yeah, so excited too. So, Jakub, let's dive into your article. In it, you talk about the possibility of America becoming the next Argentina, and that we may face a crisis similar to Venezuela. Can you explain can you explain this to our audience, why you believe this to be the case?
Yeah, hi Duke. So we are discussing daily Balajism. So it's like something that Balaji Srinivasan writes on Twitter and or creates into a podcast. And recently, he had a series of tweets around his like bit signal meme, that basically Bitcoin is like one of the most honest signals that we have, like a market signal, or a canary in a coal mine, kind of thing, where it kind of shows the health of the fiat system or central bank system deteriorating in the current crisis after the Silicon Valley Bank digital bank run, or digital death, as the Balaji calls it. And many people kind of have what Balaji would call some kind of mental roadblocks, where they cannot imagine or fathom that the US dominated world order might be kind of fracturing or ending or getting weaker, and they can't imagine some kind of like de-dollarization event that would be like a rapid one. And so this is like a kind of scenario where America becomes the next Argentina, which kind of means that it's not the end of the world, basically, it's something where you have a country that was like once one of the richest countries in the world, and then it went sidelines. It went just like it became like an economic basket case, and it kind of never recovered. Now when you look at the price of Bitcoin versus I don't know, the Argentinian currency, you see like the Bitcoin is like the all-time high, which is sad. Yeah, but you have a couple of countries like that. I mean, even Balaji shared the Lebanese currency. If you look at it, yeah, there is a graph, and it like if you check the Bitcoin price versus the Lebanese currency, it actually goes vertical. It looks like the bit signal meme. Yeah, no, it's like the exact graph. So he says like, I mean, he wrote on Twitter, if you want to check how the bit signal graph looks in the real world, and he posted the screenshot of yeah, I mean, you can Google it, the Lebanese currency and versus Bitcoin. You check it out for yourself. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's a bad scenario, and Balaji also stresses that he actually doesn't want this to happen. He doesn't want actually Bitcoin to go to 1 million in 90 days. So he's kind of like, he would be actually happy to lose the bet he made, like that the Bitcoin will reach 1 million US dollars. I don't know, by June 16th, if I remember it correctly. Because everybody, including Bitcoin maximalists, kind of hoped that maybe this scenario will come, but it will be like gradual and slow. So maybe in 5 years or something like that. Yeah, but not in 90 days, because it's like more traumatizing and painful. But on the other hand, you had events like the fall of the Berlin Wall, the collapse of the Soviet bloc, the Soviet Union and its satellite states. And you have even countries like, okay, Czechoslovakia was also one of the richest countries like 100 years ago. And then it kind of got the communism virus, and it, and it was like held back by a couple of decades. And now, I don't know, our country and Czech Republic is also, we wouldn't call ourselves like basket cases, but we also kind of went sideways in the last 10 years. Not really becoming like basket cases, but not living to our full potential. And we are maybe in the 40, like around like 40, I don't know, most developed countries economically or something like that. But actually, if you look at like some kind of leading indicators, like doing business index, like how easy it is to do business, let's say in Slovakia, then you get countries like Rwanda that are actually ahead of us. So yeah, I mean,
it's true.
Yeah, and it's important actually, because this is like, like for example, San Francisco might be rich, like very rich, but it's very bad at capital allocation, and it's very bad at actually providing like basic services to its citizens, compared to how rich it is, like providing basic security. So I believe like Voi Town or Kenya in general, it's better, especially compared to how rich the San Francisco is. So it's not about money. Actually, it's like probably in case of California and San Francisco is like a resource curse. Like they have so much technological kind of so many technological companies based there, and so much like revenue from these like tech monopolies or oligopolies. So it's like digital oil, and they therefore like they are it's kind of destroys their governance. So like let's say Norway is like Peter Thiel says, like, okay, you have countries like Saudi Arabia or Norway, and which are petrol rich. They have lots of oil. Yeah, I mean, not petrol, but sorry, but oil rich. Like but probably they're better governed actually than California at the point. And so you can be rich, but you can lose that status. You can go from 1 to 0. Actually, it's like that's the digital death. Yeah. and so yeah, I mean, it's not like a Mad Max scenario, because many people like imagine like if, let's say, Bitcoin goes to 1 million and if like the dollar loses the reserve currency status, then it's like the end of the world, or it's like total chaos and anarchy, which might happen, but it also might be something like Soviet bloc collapsing. So it's not nice. Like Russia in the 90s wasn't really an easy place to live, because lots of organized crime was happening there, but it wasn't the end of the world for them, as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's certainly concerning, though, when you think about it. But you also mentioned in your article that there is a meme of hard times creating strong men creating good times, and good times creating weak men, and weak men creating hard times again. Can you expand on that and how it applies to our current situation?
Yeah, that's kind of like this like cyclical theory of history, and Balaji has like a helical theory of history. So like he kind of agrees, like of course we go in cycles, like we have 4 seasons, we have some kind of business cycles, we have some kind of like even maybe longer like generational cycles, like 70 or 80 years, when people kind of lose the institutional memory or the historical memory, and they have to repeat the same mistakes, like for example, people today in the West, they don't have the immediate feeling or memory of how bad the war is, how bad wars are, so they might be like too kind of how to say, they might be like taking it like too lightly, like just being on Twitter and like, I don't know, rooting for a World War III, with Russia or something like that. It's like yeah, I mean, it's a difficult topic, because you have to also like protect your values, and you have to have like don't appear weak, so you have to kind of show that you are strong, and like you will protect yourself, of course, and you can't kind of like give in to like some kind of nuclear blackmail. But on the other hand, like lots of people on Twitter, they are like virtue signaling or vice signaling, and they're just like yeah, kind of playing with fire. So like if it can kind of escalate, so because then also politicians, like they're downstream of Twitter, media are downstream of Twitter, and there are lots of like these kind of news where, I don't know, there is this like this rocket was fired, and then, I don't know, it hit some kind of Polish village, and then like some, like, I don't know, 2 farmers were killed or something like that, and then like people are just like, I don't know, too easy to kind of start I don't know, nuclear war over these kind of things. So it's like yeah, because of these like Twitter mobs or this kind of mentality, it's it has a like a life of its own, like this kind of swarms, online swarms. So
Yeah.
it's kind of dangerous. Yeah, but yeah, but back to the four the weak men create hard times. So yeah, so we can see it, like it's even like with Biden, maybe, because like he was kind of like not being too tough on Putin, being kind of like not really like protecting. No, not really like yeah, I mean, it was like he was acting when it was kind of already too late, or he wasn't like even believing maybe the war will start or something. But like maybe the hard truth to swallow is that if Trump was in the office, probably this war wouldn't have started, because like
True.
so, and Trump, well, I mean, he's a complex character as well, but he's kind of like difficult to get, or unpredictable, and this maybe makes him a little bit like the dangerous. And I'm not saying he's like the strong man or something, he's also kind of like just entertaining character, like from South Park or something, like that, but like but this like Biden presidency doesn't seem like that that amazing for world, like also with this financial crisis, with I don't know how they are, like how they were.
Maybe he's an example of a weak man who is creating hard times.
Exactly. I think so. He is an example of a weak man who is creating hard times, definitely. Because he's like he's also influenced by these like Twitter mobs or woke kind of like wing of the Democratic Party. So I mean, it's probably it's a good example, but you have many leaders like that, so and the opposite is all. It might be also true, like I don't know. You have like leaders like Lee Kuan Yew who built basically the first world country out of the third world country in a couple of decades or a couple of years, basically, like in Singapore. So like I mean, and none of these leaders are perfect or like just like, but it's. Definitely, like you can see the deterioration of culture, or also of CEOs. Like many CEOs are like kind of weak, like they're just like being influenced by the online mobs or by like what their employees are thinking. And then you have like some CEOs like the CEO of Coinbase who are like trying to, I don't know, have like some kind of different framework, like take out politics out of the workplace, like just like trying to be apolitical, focusing on core business, focusing on core business and first things first.
Well, as we move forward, you also mentioned that cryptocurrency could be a useful tool in terms of crisis. What do you mean by that, and how can people protect themselves using cryptocurrency?
Right. Yeah. So, like in case of Bitcoin, it's like the use case here is digital gold. So when the local currency fails or the dollar fails or it's not available, then I mean it's just like you can hold some portion of your savings in this kind of like digital gold that is like permissionless, that you hold in your like self custody, and you can use like Bitcoin Lightning to for very cheap transfers, like it's global, it's like global address, it's something like email, it's like an open protocol, and it's like there is no counterparty risk, so it's not like you are holding your savings in some kind of institution that can fail, but of course you can lose your private keys or something like that. It's always like there are some risks, you can be hacked somehow, but but it's just another kind of like it's like a digital asset, a digitally native form of money. So definitely it's good to have, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10% of your savings in this kind of the hard asset or digital gold. So not a financial advice, but it's whatever you feel comfortable.
And by the way, also people are also improving like Bitcoin as a currency. Right now, we can see like the Lightning Network, and even it's getting better, even the Lightning Network, because before it used to be these long characters, like 120 characters of the Lightning Network address. But right now we can see like it has been improved, whereby you can just even use your email as a Lightning network address, and you can receive sats, or you can receive Bitcoin. with that email, so it's
I didn't
memorable
know.
and
Wow,
short.
cool.
Yeah, it's memorable and short. And even before the previous technology of Lightning Network, it used to be you have to create an invoice, and that invoice expires. So you can't use that link, for example, to be in a profile, or you cannot send the same Lightning Network address to so many people because it expires. So right now, with the platform like get Albi, something like that.com, you can now generate just one. You can just use your one Lightning network address that you set, and you can set like an email. Actually, Michael, is it Michael Sell? He's using his email as a Lightning network, and actually he has tell his all employees, to use their email as network, to use their work email as their Lightning network address, which is cool.
Cool. Okay. So I didn't know. Okay. I mean, I got the info. I saw this one about the work emails at MicroStrategy is
Yeah.
there. Yeah. But I didn't connected it with this innovation of in Bitcoin Lightning. So it's nice. Yeah,
Yes.
we should also try it. So it's something like
I already tried it with the Nostra profile, the one. So it's just my email. Though this is the email that I'm using, doesn't have my extension yet. There's some process where you have to set up so that you can have like your personal domain name, for example. But right now it's like Duke Mtambo at getalbi.com. So that's my Lightning address.
Cool. Nice,
Lightning address, Lightning network address, that is.
So you can use it also as an email, and you can use it also as a Lightning address.
Yes, yeah, you can use it as an email and as a Lightning address. But
okay,
of
so
course,
it's like ENS, kind of like something like an ENS, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
So, so the technology is improving day by day, and yeah, I think we are we are getting there.
Yeah, and actually, when we were testing Noster, right? So actually, and I was using Webster, which is like a Czech, also partly Czech, or I don't know, from Czechia, Czech Republic. It's like a Noster client for Android. Yeah, it looks nice. You can check it out. It's not an advertising, but that's what I'm using for Android now, a Plebster. And you are using Snort Social, right?
Yeah, Snort
like
Social.
It's like Noster, Snort. Yeah, so it's funny.
Yeah, as a client, and I believe there's so many other clients like Iris. I don't know .to or something like that. So, but the moment you have your own like Nostr public key, create that account, you can use your account in any client. I mean Nostr client. So I can decide to log in into using the Webster client, or I can log in use the Iris. So that's the beauty of it. Not like I have to stick to that one platform because you created your Nostr account through that client, but you can use it's just like email, you can decide to send your email using Gmail, or you can decide to use Outlook, so with the same email. Nice. So which is cool.
Wow, cool. Yeah, and so when I was testing this Plebster, and I was like zapping you, which means here like sending some like small amount of Bitcoin, like it like 1,000 sats. So and then I saw like there was some strange email, so I didn't get it like instead of the address, but I was like, okay, like I mean I trust Duke, like I know I trust him, he knows what he's doing, so like, and it worked. So but this is because you were using this like service instead of Lightning address, it was connected with this email, right?
Yeah, and there was another conversation whereby there's like some guys, I think in the network state, they are suggesting, like, I don't know if in the network state or in the Jua, like there's some guys who are in favor of not having cramming, for example, all the 24 or 12 seed phrase.
Mnemonic phrase, the
Yeah,
seed phrase,
or seed phrase, yeah. So there's a technology, I don't know if it's being developed, and the guys are advocating for that. I don't know, because it will be easy for people. But there are some guys who are against. That's not even a good way, because now if you don't have those phrases, and that's like your key,
Yeah.
So I don't know, but let's see how technology moves, and we might reach a place whereby you don't have to cram all that 24 or 12 seed phrase, but you could have a better option of.
Okay. And what's do you know what's the detail of it? Like it's shorter, or what do you what?
I didn't go into detail, but I think Coinbase is the one which is trying to implement. But maybe I'll go back. It was posted, I think, on the Network State Discord. So there's a guy who posted it there, but I'll try to dig deep into it and see what exactly technology Coinbase is advocating. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about also the concept of tech trees. You wrote it in your article. Can you maybe explain what that means and how it also implies to the current situation?
Right. So I mean, Balaji uses the concept of technology tree, or tech tree. So it's like originally from the game Civilization, if I'm correct, but it's basically you can kind of like it's like some kind of like a mind map of like what technology do you need to produce another technology, like what is like some kind of a mind map of like various technologies. And basically this tech tree concept is connecting these like two, like the great man theory of history, and with the like an arc of theory of history, like so because like some the great founder theory kind of says like you need to have like a great founder, let's say like Lee Kuan Yew, so and that person can create like a new Singapore, like totally different or like successful, or you have someone like Steve Jobs and he can like resurrect Apple, so that's like the great founders theory. Then you have like kind of different or opposite theory, which is like it's like an arc of history, it's like the times there are days when decades happen, like there are like the decades like where nothing happens, and then there are like days where decades happen, like let's say there is some kind of window of opportunity, and as the saying goes, like the time is ripe now for like some kind of change, like like let's say, okay, if you had the early 90s in Eastern Europe, so you had like a couple of days, like or weeks or months, the country went from communism or socialism to like capitalism, and it was like really like days or weeks or months where so many things happen, as in the previous, let's say 40 40 years, not much was happening, was kind of stabilized, and then let's say in 4 years more things can happen than in 4 decades. So and this could be even in days. So you have like this kind of two opposite like kind of views. Like one's is like, okay, it's like the great founder theory, and another one is like, okay, there is like some kind of the time needs to be ripe, or there is this arc of history, or like if we where when we discuss the circular history, like the strong men create good times, or the weak men create hard times. So so, and how you can reconcile these like two different maybe even like opposing concepts, and you can reconcile it with the tech tree concept. Balaji thinks this because it's like kind of shows you like what is actually the available technology today to you know, it's kind of like you are standing on the shoulders of giants. So the available technology, let's say you have like, I don't know, you have Solana, and then you can create like cheap NFTs, and maybe there could be like some kind of use case for I don't know, crypto credentials or some, you know. So it's like, but it wasn't maybe possible, or some kind of like crypto, like some app that is like doing that is helping you to do some crypto check-ins, some kind of like creating some kind of like communities, like startup societies or network unions, and posting some crypto credentials on chain. And let's say it wasn't possible like before some layer 2 blockchains were created, I don't know, like Polygon, or let's say with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lightning, you know, like it wouldn't be possible, let's say, or feasible to send someone like, I don't know, 5 cents or $50 cents, you know, something like that. But like with Lightning, like layer 2, it's possible. So, and let's say you create you have like a great founder, like you discuss like Strike, right? The Jack Mallers, right? Like he was like helping in El Salvador, you know, like with the Bitcoin kind of transition into Bitcoin, or like, yeah. So as far as I understand it, but he's like the great founder, but he's also standing, let's say, on the shoulders of giants, of course, like Satoshi Nakamoto with Bitcoin, but then with also like this Bitcoin Lightning layer 2, which allows for like cheap transactions, and also like very small transactions. And now you have like, let's say, this like Nostr protocol, where you and also which integrates with Bitcoin Lightning, and you can have like a social network where instead of or you can also like some kind of what is it, nodes, you say? It's not posts but nodes, but you can also like just send like, I don't know, 5 cents to someone, like, okay, this was a good post, I'm sending you 5 cents, and it's kind of almost seamless. So yeah, I guess it's just like still very early, but you can see how this could be seamless. And maybe just like a question about what's the name of the address, the email address that you can get like a Bitcoin Lightning address. And it's just, the question is like, okay, first, like what's the name, and then the second is like, is it solving some kind of like wallet thing, or you have to connect your wallet to it, or how does it work?
It's called okay, if I can just get the real name, but it's called something like Get Albi. So the domain name is the platform is getalby.com. So GETALBYC. No, I mean GETALBY.com. So Get Albi.
Get Albi. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's connected with some wallet, or
no. So when you create your account with them, they'll ask you, after you create your account, they'll ask you to create their wallet. So when you're creating the wallet, you'll just put the username as the extension. So like, for example, in Gmail, you normally put the username, for example, Jakub Simek, before the @ So that username then plus their domain name, it makes the wallet automatic. So you are not connecting any wallet, any outside wallet.
Okay, so it creates your wallet there with them.
So with them, it creates a wallet with them.
Okay, but then it's like, and can you host it locally, or is like you have it locally, or it's like with them, you know, or it's an extension? I don't know.
It's just an extension. It's just an extension, a browser extension.
Okay, nice. Okay,
yeah, it's just a browser extension, and actually, you can connect it to the, for example, Nostr. I mean the Nostr account, and the secret key. When you put the secret key, the Nostr secret key in that wallet, that acts like your secret key for that wallet again. I don't know if you understood by that. Like once you connect with the Nostr, so you can decide, instead of you generating, for example, your own secret key for that wallet, you can just have your secret key for secret key for the Nostr account.
Okay, cool.
To be,
so you just not remember, but you have just like but you could also use the mnemonic. Is there an option, or you don't know?
No, there's no mnemonic there. I haven't seen the seed phrase, so it's just like your private key will be just the Nostr. You can just generate another private key inside there, but if you don't want, you can just connect with you can just use the same Nostr public key. I mean, not public key, but secret key to be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Sounds
you need
good.
to record it down as a secret key.
Yeah, but you would write it on a paper or something, because it's really long,
Yeah, it's really long, but you have to. It's just the same as writing the seed phrase,
Yeah,
So
probably.
Yeah,
but
so
seed phrase is easier to remember, It's just like, or to write down. But
yeah,
true,
it's easier to write down. Yeah, it's true. But with both, you can recover your wallet using the seed phrase or secret key.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
so in this case, it's like you're having secret key. I haven't seen like a seed phrase from that website. So
I think it's from Snort has also a seed phrase. So I think, if I remember correctly, Snort, like the Nostr.
The Nostr. No, they
Nostr
don't
client.
have. They don't have.
Okay.
It's just a secret key. So they have public key and secret key, and actually secret key is the one that you use to log in to the platform.
Yeah. I know. But I thought that it's like a third option, also, like of mnemonic. But I saw it somewhere. But probably was it on Snort? Was it? Yeah, like this.
Or it's on a
Nostr.
Plebster.
Could be Plebster as well. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Have to check. Okay, cool. Okay, so but we also provided some some kind of like call to action, like, you should check the Nostr protocol. It's nice, I like it.
Yeah.
And pay someone, I don't know, 5 cents or 2 cents, a literal 2 cents for in
post.
Bitcoin, with Bitcoin Lightning for their 2 cents, their opinions online. So it's nice.
Yeah, for their notes, So if you like their notes or their content, you can just appreciate whether you can tip them, or in that Nostr protocol is called zapping. So you can zap.
Zapping. No,
yeah, you can just zap, or if you're on Twitter, you say like you can tip, or any platform you're tipping the creator on their content.
Yeah.
Well,
cool.
So let's wrap up this conversation. And how do you see US fitting into this picture? And what do you think the future holds for American leadership and in technology and innovation?
Right. I mean, so there is the Balaji has this like now concept of digital death, like we discussed it before, like with this Bitcoin signal, going vertical. And let's say Silicon Valley Bank stock price going also vertical, but in the opposite direction, like from 1 to 0. It's like it's like 99% almost, like just the value lost. Like it lost like 99% of value. So and but there is a counter argument, or like the opposite kind of view, where it's like there is a great deal of ruin in the nations, as said Adam Smith, the economist. So it can take decades. It's like Argentina. You can go sideways, or even it can take decades before the country gets like some meaningfully poorer or weaker. It's like can take like another 100 years. That's the counter argument. And counter argument to that, or just like, okay, it's like either it's like the counter argument is like, okay, this time it's different because it's like we are all like digital now. You have like this digitally native form of money, like Bitcoin or crypto in general. People are like very online. They can get scared. They can, banks, the internet banking is like much faster now. Internet is faster. People can also move. Mobile make us more mobile. You have many friends online. on social networks. So you can move to, let's say, to a small town, or you can move to countryside, and like you don't lose connections with your friends because many of them are online. If you spend a lot of time online, and so so like all these, like this technological defense, as Balaji would say, like buy Bitcoin, take it off exchanges, and like then move to crypto friendly jurisdiction, which is more like the social defense.
Yeah.
This is possible here. So but and then there is also this kind of narrative or meme of like American dynamism, like you have companies like Anduril, with Parmalathy, the founder of Oculus Quest. He also founded these, like the US defense company, like they're like making some, producing drones for the US Army. So you have, like, I don't know, you have the idea of like some kind of slow decline. You have the idea of like very fast digital death kind of scenario, or Berlin Wall kind of scenario. Berlin Wall falling, Soviet bloc collapsing, and then you have like even like the opposite viewpoint of American dynamism, and let's say. It's everything is relative, so it's like when the US sneezes, everybody catches cold, so because let's say it's like, let's say also like even Europe or Africa or Latin America, we are like on a periphery, or like the, let's say, emerging markets or frontier markets. So if the US is not doing well economically, like the whole world kind of feels it, that's like the another kind of viewpoint on it. But like but at the end, I think what decides and what might be actually quite different is like, one thing is like technological conservatism, which is quite strong. Actually, it's getting stronger. Like the Fed and some other, like I think it was FDIC or some other kind of like regulator, they were actually suggesting banks that they shouldn't use like open and global protocols, and they even didn't mention like blockchain protocols, but it was like some people thought it's like typo there, I think Caitlin Long, or if I remember the Young Caitlin, what is it? What is her? Young, right?
Yeah, Caitlin Young.
Young, not Long. Young, Caitlin Young. Yeah, so she thought it's like a typo in the document, the policy document, but because she thought it should be blockchain protocols, but it's not actually. Well, basically, what they were saying is like the banks shouldn't use digital technologies, or they shouldn't use internet or something, because and then they're prone to these digital bank runs, so
yeah.
So it's actually crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to blame. It's like blaming the messenger, like blaming blaming technology. And as we discussed, it's partially true, but it's true because they're using the scanner version or the scanner stage of digitalization, which is like, it looks like some flashy front end, but you have like the Pony Express in at the back end. So it's like the antiquated, like very old back end systems, and front end looks like really nice, like Robinhood, Revolut, some neobanks. So like that's the issue here. But like okay, going back to the US, so one thing is like technological conservatism, like they're against social media, they're against AI, they're against crypto, like the three most important technologies according to Balaji. And if you are against the future, then you have no future, so it's like you are betting against like the three most important technologies, because I don't know, the AI is threatening blue checks more than blue collar workers. So they will be against AI. They want to centralize AI because of the safety, and I don't know. So they will be trying to make AI woke. and they are against crypto because it's something that they can't control. They can't control the supply of 21 million Bitcoin, so they hate crypto, and they can't sanction it, and just so it's difficult for them. But this is again the rule of code, which is more than the rule of law. It's like, because you can't tamper with it. It's you don't have the root access. So also we discussed maybe before, I have this concept of like roots, root cosmopolitans. So it's not like a rootless cosmopolitan, or it's not like a rooted cosmopolitan only, or rooted is also good. It's like the citizen of everywhere. Like you can be at home in, let's say, Bratislava, or Voi in Kenya, or let's say in Singapore. Like you can have many, like you can be part of many communities. But what crypto allows is like the root cosmopolitans, meaning like you have the root over your money. You are the root user. So with crypto, every user is a root user, and it's also you are a root cosmopolitan with crypto, meaning like you can send or receive money from anywhere around the world, and it doesn't go through some third party, and doesn't take like 2 days to reach you, and there is no like third party to slow your transaction, like let's say Wise, the transfer Wise. Like, sometimes it takes like 1 minute, and sometimes it takes 2 days because of some antiquated bank backend. So and the US is now currently the US elites, and especially the old establishment, and especially current administration in the US, like they're technologically conservative. And actually you can see it, and it's not just crypto bros who are feeling it, but it's like the regular finance bros, the startup tech bros. It's like everyone is feeling it, and not just bros, also girls. It's just like they're trying to move their businesses offshore. Balaji talks how the US lost like 85% of millionaires or billionaires, like the high net worth individuals, like the foreigners going to the US. It's like 85% less than it used to be before pandemics. So people, and I guess the same with Delaware, and with startups and Silicon Valley. And actually this is the second reason. So first one is technological conservatism, and second one is you can call it wokeism, but it's basically, it's kind of like weird kind of ideology where the result of that ideology is anarcho-tyranny, where you have tyranny for like regular normal people, where, I don't know, they get like hefty fines for parking, as parking tickets for staying a few minutes late, or being overstaying, or parking on a sidewalk incorrectly. But then at the same time, like in San Francisco, you get like criminals who rob you, or who like break into your cars, and into your car, and they kind of walk scot-free. So they are not punished, so the criminals are not punished, let's say, or the drug addicts, for some weird reason of, I don't know, social justice. But it's often like just like organized crime. It can grow into organized crime. It is, so like criminals are not punished, but like regular people are punished. So it's like the anarcho-tyranny. And like what's happening in San Francisco is, according to Balaji, can spread to other cities, and then it can create, and it can spread also globally, and it's like what we saw, like let's say with BLM. You had protests also in the UK or in other places, in Paris, where I mean, everything what happens in the US. I mean, it's kind of affecting the whole world, and it's just like a theory or a prediction. It might not materialize, but this kind of like ideas, can spread to other cities, like blue cities in the US, definitely, but also abroad. So it's kind of like that's also the scenario of American anarchy, what Balaji calls it, like versus Chinese control. So yeah, I mean, you just to wrap up. So you have like at least like three scenarios. Like one is like slow decline, another one is just like fast, like digital death kind of scenario of the US decline. Then you have an opposite view of like American dynamism, of some startups like Anduril and Parmalat, like I don't know, making the US military great again or something like that. And then you have also like some kind of reasons for being worried, and like one is like technological conservatism of the current administration and also of the old establishment. And the second reason is like this kind of like strange woke ideology that it's actually resembling something what happened in Venezuela, where you get not just chaos and like economic decline, but you got also like lawlessness or crime, a lot of crime, which is strange because let's say in Cuba or in communist like or socialist countries, like you know, you had like relative order. Let's say like Belarus, you know, like it's like you have it's like oppressive regime. Let's say creative people and entrepreneurial people are being chased out of the country, or like kind of different thinking or freedom loving people are being chased out. But at least you have some kind of stability in that place, you know. Like you don't see graffiti everywhere. You don't see like drug addicts on the streets. So at least they're like selling you these like security and kind of order there in these kind of countries. But like with Venezuela and also what is happening in San Francisco, you get like kind of like a strange mixture of anarchy and tyranny, where yeah, you have chaos and you have also like economic downturn and you have some kind of like socialism, but it's kind of a strange kind. So yeah, I mean, these are like the two worries, like technological conservatism and this kind of anarcho-tyranny that is happening in San Francisco.
Oh, well, that's a great wrap up, Jakub. I think it's important to stay ahead of the curve and be prepared for anything that may come our way. Well, that's all that's all the time we have for today. Jakub, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Duke. It was great talking to you.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. If you enjoyed listening to Mtambo Days podcast, don't forget to subscribe, give this episode a thumbs up, and be sure to come back next week for another episode. Until then, this is Duke Mtambo, and don't forget to do good always.